Gary Smith, and on today's show we're going to talk with Coach Dunn about this past weekend's win against Lock Haven, and then we're going to look at all the standings because it's that time of year. We're getting into week 2. Things are becoming a little more clear, and then we're going to preview this upcoming week's opponent, the Millersville Marauders. But as always, Coach, it's always good to see you on a Monday morning. A big smile on your face walking into the studio.
Good to be back for another week. Great weekend here in California, and now we're moving on to the next.
And I don't know who you called upstairs or in the community, but that weather, perfect day for college football on Saturday.
What a great day. You know, as a coach, you're always worried about these first couple games. You know, it can get really hot and guys cramping. I mean, it was perfect weather. I think it was 75 degrees, a little breeze in our face off the lawn, and what a beautiful day.
Beautiful day, and not only that, just an amazing crowd, I thought, because you never know early in the season, just with a lot was going on with 9/11 remembrances and just, you know, it's just a beautiful day, but a packed crowd and a boisterous crowd. And I tell you what, it didn't take long for your team to give them something to cheer about.
Yeah, I thought it was a great crowd. You know, we had several alumni back, you know, from really every era. The parents showed up. It was great to have Cal U Band and cheerleaders back with us. It's been a long time since we played a home game, and it was great to be back at Adamson.
Well, I tell you what, it felt normal whenever you mentioned the band, we're setting up, and then you hear them practicing in the parking lot, and they started doing the fight song. And I'm like, that's when you start getting the feelings of, hey, we're back and this is going to be a good day. And like I said, it was a good day. And we talked last week after the Fairmont game, just some things that you wanted the team to work on and clean up. And I tell you what, if on the rate your professor scale, you probably should get an A+, because everything we talked about last week, you could tell improvement.
Well, we still got a long way to go, I'll tell you that. But no, I thought, you know, the biggest key for us is I thought we had a really good week of practice. You know, I told the guys every day is that we practice is a chance to get better for Saturday. And I thought we had a really good work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the whole week. And so I felt that we were going to play better because I thought we practiced better. And that's the message. You know, what we do during the week is going to dictate how we play on Saturdays. And the harder we practice and the better we practice, the better chance we're going to have for success on Saturdays.
And one of the first things you can notice, at least on the stats and also with the eye test, is the run game was just running on all cylinders this past Saturday. I was kidding Noah, the quarterback. I said I didn't know we were in a wishbone offense. He was the leading rusher in week 1. But I tell you what, the offensive line and the running back stepped up, 190 yards combined and 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground for your squad on Saturday.
Yeah, we challenged them a little bit this past week, and I thought we got better. We still got a long way to go, but, you know, and it's not just the O-line. Everybody thinks, hey, you know, when you're not running the ball, the offensive line's not doing the right thing. The back's got to put the ball where it's supposed to go. And a little bit on Thursday night was kind of a combination of the offensive line and tight ends and the backs not putting the ball where it should go. I thought we made strides at that, and we're going to have to get better because we've got a whole new set of issues. Millersville's a really, really well-coached team that plays some things that most defenses don't. But I thought we got better, and if we can continue to grow and continue to get better each week, then we'll have a chance.
We'll continue the theme with the offensive line. Because that 2 things the offensive line can do can help with the run game, but also help with the passing game. And quarterbacks were clean, and that led to almost 400 yards passing, and then 369-yard passing and 3 touchdowns. And just all cylinders were clicking in the air.
Yeah, you know, I thought the passing game was crisp most of the day. The offensive line did do a good job of keeping Noah clean along with the backs, and then, you know, Jaquay Jackson had a big day. We had talked about him a week or so ago that we knew he was going to break out at some point because he works extremely hard and he's a really talented kid, and he had a big day. And, you know, that's what we want offensively. We don't want to have one go-to guy or 2 go-to guys, and I think you'll see that the weeks coming up is you know, the ball's going to go where the defense dictates it goes. So we're not looking for specific guys to get 10 catches and 100 yards. We're looking for Noah to make great decisions in the pass game and get it to the open guy, and Jaquay had a big day on Saturday.
Jaquay Jackson, 8 receptions, 219 yards and 2 touchdowns, but also coached 10 different Vulcans caught balls. So that's, you know, like you just mentioned, defense dictates where it's going, and knowing the offensive line stayed clean and able to find the open receiver and spread the ball around.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key for us. You know, you go back to Thursday night against Fairmont State, Tyson had a really big day, and then now Jaquay has a big day, and I expect some more guys to step up. Cam Tarrant's been steady. You know, I think he's had 50 or 60 yards both games and big third down catches. Cam's doing a really good job. So when we can be multiple in formations and multiple in personnel groups and you know, multiple in our running backs and how we're distributing it, I think obviously we become tougher to defend, and we took a good step on Saturday in that regard.
Well, the scoreboard has two numbers on it, and the offense to the tune of 59 points, but the other number was a 0 in the defense. I thought played just lights out on Saturday.
Yeah, defense did well, and again, our front four kind of controlled it. Lockhaven was going to try and run the ball against us, and we take pride in our run defense. At times we got out of our gaps a little bit and missed a couple tackles, but overall they played well. We still got some things that we got to get better at, but they're playing with a lot of confidence right now and a lot of emotion, and I thought they played well.
When I tell you what, it seemed like most of the time you had 2 or 3 defensive players in the Lockhaven backfield. I'm just going to go over some numbers here. Tackle for loss, tackle for loss, tackle for loss. 1, 2, 3, 7 guys had multiple tackles for losses in that game. That's showing that front seven's doing a good job, but also defensive backfield. I mean, There was nowhere to throw, so the quarterback has to hold the ball, and more often than not, he paid for it on Saturday.
We're going to try and bring pressure, and the whole key is winning your individual matchup, and we won more of those on Saturday than we didn't. And but our defensive line is playing really well. Coach Reggie Wells is doing a good job with those guys, and we're able to keep them fresh because I feel like we've got great depth there. On the defensive side of the ball, we feel like we've got great depth on the defensive line, so those guys are able to play fresh and play hard every play. And really the same thing at receiver. I think offensively we've got some pretty good depth at receiver. So, you're going to see a lot of different guys making plays, and again, that just makes us a better team.
And definitely a lot of depth is going to make your life a lot easier going through this fall. And then the final phase of the team, special teams, and 2 big plays on special teams: a block punt or a block field goal, and then a electrifying punt return in the second quarter that really got the stadium rocking.
Yeah, Jamal Martin did a good job on that. I think he had one more later in the game that he fair caught. He wished he had back because it was more open than the first one. But we spend a ton of time on special teams, and Coach Wilson does a really good job. And our guys, that was one area I thought we needed improvement from Fairmont State. Obviously, they had the big kickoff return, so we worked the heck out of that. Our punt return game wasn't clean at Fairmont State, for a number of reasons, but our guys are buying in, and we were able to play a lot of young guys on Saturday that caught our eye, that made some plays on special teams. When you kick off that many times, you're running down different guys, and some guys stepped up, but the punt return was big. And then we take pride in our block game, and I thought the guys did a great job on that.
And you were speaking about participation. I looked at the participation numbers, and it looked like War and Peace with the amount of names on there. That's going to make you feel good as a coach, knowing that, hey, your guys are getting experience, because you never know in a long season when you're going to have to be next guy up.
Well, absolutely, and this year more than ever, because you got to figure some of these guys haven't played in a football game in 2 years. So a chance to get all those guys in who really deserve to be in and work hard, and that's their opportunity. That's their opportunity to get on the field. And we tell our guys that you show it during practice and you prove it on game day. You got to be able to do it during practice, and then when you get your opportunity in the game, and we played a couple freshmen on some special teams units, and they did a good job. There was a couple guys that didn't make the bus to Fairmont State that obviously we can't travel everybody, but they got an opportunity, and now next time we get on the bus, they're probably going to be on there. So their work's paying off.
Let's take a look back at this Saturday's impressive 59-0 victory over Lockhaven.
Going to go up the middle, and there's a fumble. It's recovered by Cal U, and the Vulcans have the ball back. Vulcans setting up fast, and he is in the end zone. California touchdown! Mitchell stepping back, firing, and he's open! That's number 9 on the reception. Touchdown, Vulcan! He's gonna hand it off to his trusty back, and he's still on his feet. Touchdown, California! It's gonna be a run up the middle, and that's going to be Kyle Brunson on the Vulcan touchdown. And no fair catch was called. He's still going. And he's still going. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5. California touchdown. And the kick is blocked by the Vulcans. Mitchell deep in the pocket, surveying the field. He's going to throw it. Caught! Touchdown, Vulcan! Rolls to his right, completed pass, touchdown, Vulcans! Wyatt Hurt under center, gonna give it to Sykes. Up the middle, Sykes getting through a few defenders, picking up the first down and more. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown, California!
Looking for something to do? Then don't miss the 2021 Health Fair. This year, the Health Fair will be on Wednesday, October 6th in the Convocation Center Arena from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. There will be free STD testing, a blood drive, prizes, free health screens, flu and COVID vaccines, giveaways, and much, much more. Don't miss the excitement. Be at the Convocation Center on October 6th for the 2021 Health Fair.
The Caillou Cupboard connects students to information, services, and resources both on and off campus while providing free items such as food, school supplies, personal hygiene items, and more to our students. Visit our 2 locations at the Vulcan Village Clubhouse and Atali Student Center, or for a contactless option, visit bit.ly.com/Caillou Cupboard to request food or give donations. For important Caillou information, community resources, and our how-to series, follow at Caillou Cupboard on Instagram and the campus-wide announcements.
Okay, Daddy, Dr. Elmo says you're healthy.
Oh, well, thank you. Our children and families want us to be healthy. That's why I and lots of other grown-ups got the COVID-19 vaccine, so we can stay healthy and get back to the moments we miss, like seeing our friends and family.
Here you go, Daddy. For a healthy checkup, a sticker.
Oh, thanks, son.
With free COVID-19 vaccines, sunnier days are ahead. Visit getvaccineanswers.org.
The Caillou Vulcans are back on the gridiron this fall, and CUTV and WCAL give you the best seats in the house. September 2nd at Fairmont State. September 11th versus Lock Haven. September 18th versus Millersville. September 25th at Edinburgh. Homecoming October 2nd versus Mercyhurst. October 9th at Gannon. October 16th versus Clarion. The Coal Bowl, October 23rd at IUP. October 30th versus Seton Hill. November 6th at Slippery Rock. November 13th at Bloomsburg or the PSAC title game. All games are live on CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC network, and 91.9 FM, WCAL.
And we just punt. And no fair catch was called. He's still going. And he's still going. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5. California touchdown.
That was Jamal Martin Jr. on the return. Let's take a look at the replay here. As Martin finds a lane, gets a couple blockers, and takes it from 63 yards out for the score. As you can see here, he's got a couple good blocks, finds an open lane, and then away he goes.
And welcome back to the Gary Dunn Show. Coach, we just saw the play of the week this past week, the Jamal Martin punt return, and something, it took me a couple times to see it, saw it live, saw it on tape a couple times, kind of the highlights, but he made a cut there at about the 50-yard line. You see a Lock Haven defensive player just go to the ground, and that is a heck of an individual move.
Yeah, that's a tough spot in college football. Anytime you got a guy one-on-one with the whole field to work, that's a tough tackle. We work on it all the time and try and teach our guy to take an angle and hope for your friends to rally to the ball. That's tough. But Jamal made a nice play there. We had some really good blocks on that. Logan Pfister, a young man, a true freshman, threw a nice block on that punt return. And we had our guys doing what they were supposed to do, and it worked out for us.
And it worked out to the tune to a 59-0 win. Now let's take a look back at around the conference this past weekend, first weekend of crossover play in the PSAC, and some games that came down to the wire. See, obviously, Cal 59-0 over Lock Haven. Shippensburg over Edinburgh. Edinburgh playing their first game after having their first week canceled at Grand Valley. Shippensburg goes up there to win 30-9. Westchester over Mercyhurst, 56-10. Shepherd puts up 56 against Gannon, so those games about 3 miles apart and 56 points scored in each one. So don't know what's in the water up there in Erie. Close game at Clarion Millersville, this coming week's opponent, ekes out a win 21-17. And then Kutztown and IUP went back and forth. And IUP outlast Kutztown their first game of the year, 29-16. And then Seton Hill moving to 2-0, 13-7 over Bloomsburg, and then Slippery Rock. That game was close for a little bit, and then Slippery Rock in the second half just extended the lead and won 22-7. Now let's take a look at the little bit early standings after 2 weeks of play. Always good to see Cal U at top, but you see 4 PSAC West teams still undefeated. And that's, it's good to see because that means, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, really good games this week. Obviously, that IUP Kutztown game was a really good game, and I have one of our supporters and our boosters and alumni that is a Division II football fanatic, and he calls me on Sunday and gives me updates on everybody in the league. He watches more Division II football than anybody in the country. So we got to talk about that game, and obviously Slippery Rock had a nice win at home against East Stroudsburg. So we got a long way to go, right?
It's early.
A long way to go.
Well, let's take a look at what's happening over on the other side of the state. Shepherd, not even the other side of the state, an entirely different state. They moved to 2-0. Shippensburg 2-0, and then you see a number of teams 1-1, and then Bloomsburg down there at 0-2. So it looks like there's going to be depth and quality, from 1 to 16 in the PSAC this year.
Yeah, Shepherd's got a couple nice wins. They went out to Ohio Dominican that first week and got a win there. Shippensburg's playing really well. East Stroudsburg ran into a tough Slippery Rock team, and Kutztown ran into a tough IUP team. And then you see Millersville got a big win against Clarion. They played really well. They're playing really good defense right now. Maybe giving up 15 points a game. They're going to be a good test for us when they come in here. They're extremely well coached.
Hey, Coach, you're getting the hang of this segue. We're going to talk about Millersville right now. This upcoming week's opponent. First time in a while. Before we do that, we're going to look at the overall schedule. See California hosting Millersville. Last week, everything was in the West, but back and forth this week. And then you see Seton Hill traveling to Kutztown, Shippensburg at Clarion, Mercyhurst at East Stroudsburg, Gannon at Bloom, Shepherd at IUP, Edinburgh at Westchester, Lock Haven, Slippery Rock. And Coach, I always ask you a game other than ours to watch, but I think hands down it's going to be that Shepherd IUP game.
Sure, that's going to be a big game. Those guys have both been playoff teams. That looks like it's at IUP, right? That's going to be a good football game. Shepherd's playing really well and extremely well coached, and IUP got their first W under their belts. They didn't play the opener, so that'll be a good game. The other game on there that interesting to see is that Seton Hill Kutztown game. That'll be a good game. All of them really. That's some good matchups. Edinburgh had their first game, and they got to go to Westchester. So anxious to see that one as well because we got Edinburgh fairly soon.
Yeah, but all those other games don't matter because the only game on that board that matters this weekend is Cal U against Millersville, and that's going to be this Saturday at Adams Stadium, 1 o'clock. It'll be live on CUTV Sports 1, WCAL, and the PSAC network. But Coach, let's break down Millersville. You said a few moments ago, we'll start with their defense. They do a lot on defense and not giving up a lot of points.
Yeah, they've got a nice defensive scheme. They base out of a 3-man front. They'll play a lot of 2 high coverages. They'll roll to 1. They'll play. They do a lot. They try and take away. They're really big up front. They've got a few D linemen that are really big. Number 97 is really an active guy. Number 85 is a really good player against the run. Active linebackers, physical. They'll blitz at times. They've got a really good scheme. So we're going to have to be detail-oriented. We're going to have to understand their scheme by the end of the week. It's only Monday. We ain't got it figured out yet, but they're going to present some problems defensively.
Now on the other side of the ball, offensively, obviously we just talked. They're not giving up a lot of points, but on the other side of the ball, they're not really scoring a lot of points. But what do they do offensively that could be successful for them on Saturday?
They've played a couple quarterbacks that have done a nice job. They're taking care of the football, which is big. They create turnovers on defense and they take care of the ball on offense. Their running game really didn't get rolling this Saturday against Clarion, but you can see that it's there. It's kind of, I equated us against Fairmont State. There was some mistakes there that caused them not to run the ball maybe as good as they wanted to. But they've got some talented kids, and so it's going to be a great test for us.
And I'm going to ask a question that I came up with this morning while I was waiting at not 1 but 2 stoplights in Brownsville, PA this morning. This is a team we don't play all that often. They're the PSAC East. Played them a few years ago at Millersville. And I usually ask, is it tougher to, prepare for a team you don't see all that often, but a team that you haven't seen all that often, but no one played last year? Is it easier not having that amount of film to go with, only basically, this 2 weeks this year, or would you as a coaching staff rather have like a couple
I'd
years?
I'd rather have 11 films
Gotcha.
to be able to watch, and yeah, there's it's tough because there's certain offenses that don't run what you run. So, for example, our tight end 3 receiver set, we have one play out of their first 2 games that somebody lined up in that formation. So you got to kind of make a guess what they're going to play to it, how they're going to play you. So I would rather have more film. I'm a film junkie, and so is our staff. It makes the week a little bit easier because you just watch the same thing over and over again. These first couple games are tough, especially because we didn't play a year ago, and a new defensive coordinator over there that we haven't played against. When you play the PSAC West, and when there's not coaching changes, IUP's been running their defense for a million years, and they do it really well. Slippery Rock the same way. A lot of the defenses have stayed the same, so you kind of go back to the last time you played them. What was your plan? What was good? What was bad? Millersville, we're kind of starting from scratch.
And make sure, see how Coach does and his team does starting from scratch this week. Once again, Saturday, 1 p.m., Adamson Stadium. If you can't be there, make sure you have a note that says you can't be at the stadium, because Coach wants to see all kinds of smiling and cheering faces in red and black. But CTV will have you covered. It'll be live on CTV Sports 1. It'll also be live on the radio station, 91.9 FM, WCAO. And also, download the PSAC Network app on your smart TV or Roku or your phone. Watch our games, watch all the games in the PSAC, make a day of it. But that app is free on the Apple Store, and also the Google Play Store. I switched over to an Apple from an Android this year.
I asked my daughter about that stuff. I don't know Apple Store, my Apple. I don't know any of that stuff. Sydney helps me out with all my technical needs.
Well, she helped us out on Saturday because one of our guys was having a hard time getting on the network, and she just happened to be there. Like, Sid, could you help us? She's like, I got this. So
yeah.
She was running the top of the press row there for us on Saturday.
I should still have a flip phone. If it wasn't for her, I probably would.
I think we all would, Coach.
Yeah.
But that wraps it up for this week, and we'll see you next week. Once again, come out to Adamson Stadium 1 o'clock. Coach, good luck this week, and we'll see you next Monday, and hopefully have another big smile on your face.
Yeah, appreciate it. The big weekend at Adamson Stadium. Let's get the students up there. The tailgating was rocking on Saturday. We had some nice tailgaters up there. Let's get the students up there, and let's have a great day at Adamson.
For Coach Dunn, I'm Gary Smith. We'll see you next week on The Gary Dunn Show.